how big the elephant in the room must be to get the pro WNBA, pro Unrivaled media to actually talk about the lackluster, disappointing, downright embarrassing ratings that Unrivaled has had so far this season? It must have hurt Annie's heart when she started seeing these ratings in such a bad place, and she was like, damn, I can't ignore this. This is so bad.
That's the sound of reality hitting hard. When the pro WNBA media finally breaks their silence on something they've been tiptoeing around, you know it's bad. Really bad. We're talking Unrivaled's second season ratings. And the numbers? Catastrophic. So bad that even Annie Costa at The Athletic, someone who's championed this league from day one, had to write a piece titled, "Unrivaled Faces Stiff Challenges as Ratings Plunge to Start Year 2. Not a dip, not a decline, a plunge. That choice of words says everything about how serious this situation has gotten.
Plunge. Damn. Ratings are down significantly as the league begins its second season. Oh, they're not pulling punches, are they? They're calling a spade a spade. In the inaugural season, Unrivaled was a spectacle, drawing a sold-out crowd of 870 eager eyes hungry for basketball to watch during the
Let's break down what this plunge really looks like in numbers, and it's brutal. Opening weekend on January 5th averaged just 175,000 viewers across TNT and True TV for the prime games. The True TV exclusive matchups? A shocking 32,000 viewers. That's right, 32,000 people waffing a league that was supposed to be revolutionizing women's basketball. By January 9th, numbers dropped even further to 39,000 viewers, and on January 10th and 11th, they bottomed out at just 71,000 per game. For comparison, last season averaged 210,000 viewers per game, with a peak of 377,000 for the one-on-one tournament final. In just 1 year, Unrivaled has lost more than half its audience.
Outside was less of a throng and more of a collection of supporters. Ryan, I know you guys know how many people were outside the fan fest. Don't lie to me. 17 people? 25 individuals? How many people were outside there? And most concerningly, for the second-year league, ratings on TV.
What makes this even more damning? The article paints opening weekend at the Miami campus as quieter than expected, with a fan fest that felt more like a scattered group of supporters than a buzzing crowd. That's polite journalism code for barely anyone showed up. They claimed every game was sold out, but if ticket holders skipped the event, it reveals a harsh truth. There's a huge gap between curiosity and genuine interest. People thought attending an Unrivaled game sounded exciting, but the reality of actually sitting through one didn't match expectations. This isn't a marketing failure. It's a product problem.
We set forth when establishing the league. Unrivaled CEO Alex Basil told Front Office Sports on Wednesday, "We're proud of the product we're putting on the court each week and are going to continue growing our audience while showcasing the best women's basketball players in the world. Leagues aren't built overnight." Now here we go. Before we were hip to this league, you might have gotten one over on people saying these are the best players in the world, but now we know better. Now we know they're not the best players in the world. Now we know that many of the best players in the world chose not to play.
Now watch CEO Alex Bazel try to spin this disaster. He's talking about building for the long game and how leagues take time to grow. Classic corporate damage control, line for line. But here's the problem. Unrivaled has a 6-year, 9-figure media rights deal with TNT, and Warner Brothers Discovery can opt out after year 3. We're entering year 2, and if these ratings keep tanking, there's almost zero chance they stick around for years 4 through 6. Even more telling, they have equity in the league. That means they're financially invested, and even they're sweating these numbers. The optics are brutal, and the long game spin just isn't holding up.
Last season refused to come back for a second season, so you can't really pull the same trick twice. The WNBA in its 29th season averaged nearly 1 million viewers per game this season across all networks, even with Caitlin Clark largely absent. Following her team's 83-81 win over the Laces on Saturday, co-founder Breanna Stewart addressed her measure of success for the league in year 2. TV ratings are one thing for sure. Obviously, we want them to be consistently high, no matter if we play on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, and know that we have a space of our own here in the league.
Many of the league's top players from last season opted not to return for year 2, so the Caitlin Clark effect couldn't be repeated. Despite her limited presence, the WNBA still averaged nearly 1 million viewers per game across all networks in its 29th season. After her team's 83-81 win over the Laces on Saturday, co-founder Breanna Stewart spoke about the league's progress in its second year. She emphasized that TV ratings are just one measure of success. Obviously, we want them to be consistently strong, whether we play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, Stewart said. What matters is that we've carved out our own space in the sports landscape.
3-on-3 is not suitable for their development and are moving on to Project B, a worldwide 5-on-5 league set to begin play in November. Quote, I think there's a misconception that we don't want to be overseas. Oh, really? Do tell. For me, it's about where the best opportunity is, where I can continue to grow my future. I enjoyed overseas. There's plenty of opportunities over here. Unrivaled is an opportunity as well. 3-on-3 for me, I felt was a little harder to transition back into 5v5. So you're telling me, Alyssa Thomas, thank you for letting us all know. You're telling me that all the people telling us that nobody wants to play overseas.
Breanna Stewart delivered the clearest, most candid take we've heard from anyone inside Unrivaled. She admitted, TV ratings are one thing for sure. Obviously, we want them consistently high, whether we play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. That honesty is important because it cuts through the usual spin suggesting ratings don't matter and that the league has other revenue streams to rely on. Sure, merchandise sales are reportedly up 50% year over year, and ticket revenue has increased 40% thanks to Philadelphia games at the Wells Fargo Center. But the hard truth? Merchandise and tickets alone cannot cover the massive operational costs of flying 54 players to Miami, housing them, paying 6-figure salaries, and running a fully professional basketball operation for 3 months.
Fair enough, I appreciate that. Unrivaled has a 6-year media rights deal with TNT, reportedly worth 9 figures, but Bear & Company, Warner Bros. Discovery can opt out after 3. TNT also has equity in the league. The biggest question facing the 3-on-3 league is whether it's sustainable, and viewership plays a significant role in the answer. Is it sustainable? Easy answer, no, it's not sustainable. 90,000 viewers? 100,000 viewers? It's not sustainable. Lack of excitement, lack of engagement, lack of conversation? It's not sustainable. Adding more players? It's not sustainable.
Key player Exodus speaks volumes about how talent really feels about this league. Alyssa Thomas dropped one of the most revealing lines in the article. I think there's a misconception that we don't want to be overseas. For me, it's about where the best opportunity is, where I can continue to grow my future. I enjoyed overseas. There are plenty of opportunities here. Unrivaled is an opportunity as well. But 3-on-3? For me, it was hard to transition back into 5-on-5. Translation, Unrivaled isn't the dream scenario the league has been selling. Players are making smart, calculated business decisions about how to spend their offseason. Many of last year's top stars opted to stay overseas or skip Unrivaled entirely rather than commit to Season 2.
A spade, of course. Week 2 ratings just came out. 105,000 people on Friday overall watched that slumber party league. It's finished. Fee put her foot in the mouth, and it's hurting CBA negotiations because she is delusional, thinking that Unrivaled is something special. I think the decline is partly related to TNT no longer carrying the NBA. Not a top 3 reason, just partly related. Fair point. No one wants to watch gimmick ball. Damn. Even Angel, aka the second most popular player, couldn't help them in ratings. Unrivaled will flop. Without CC, it isn't sustainable. Nobody wants to watch man-hating lesbians miss rebounds and layups. I said what I said. Damn. Damn. I tried watching the Breeze game solely for Dom, and I couldn't get past a couple quarters. 3v3, just not for me. Everyone who said Unrivaled didn't need Angel because they had Paige and that she was the one were wrong and should apologize. Yeah, Paige really isn't the draw that people were lying to us, telling us she was. Was she? Annie, thank you so much for giving us an article that has some meat on the bones. That's not just pro player. That's being pretty transparent in the ratings. I do appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video.
The league expanded from 36 to 54 players this season, a number that sounds like growth, until you consider that major stars refuse to return. On top of that, Unrivaled now faces competition from Project B, a global 5-on-5 league launching in November 2025, which several players have publicly called a better fit for their development. That's a direct critique of Unrivaled's 3-on-3 format. When top athletes openly say that the format makes it harder to transition back to traditional basketball, this isn't a minor gripe. It's a challenge to the very core concept of what Unrivaled is trying to be.